Okay, welcome everybody. I'm going to call the meeting to order, that being the special council meeting of Warwick Township, November 27th, 2023. The purpose of the meeting today is discussion and business related to the fire services. I'll remind council of disclosure of pecuniary interest or conflict of interest. Does anybody have one to declare at this time? Seeing none. I'll also like to welcome everybody who's tuning in through Warwick Township YouTube. And now I'm going to do the acknowledgement of ancestral lands. We acknowledge that the land on which we are gathered here today, Township of Warwick, is located on the traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, as well as the many indigenous nations in Ontario, whose footsteps have marked them for centuries. We also wish to acknowledge that we are situated on Treaty 29 and Treaty 25 territories signed by Chippewa chiefs and offer our respect and gratitude for these lands. Council, I'm going to take us to 5A, and that's councillor commitment dates. Does anybody have anything they wish to add to the list at this time? Seeing none? Very good. Let's go to councillors' items. I'm going to start with Councillor Manning today. Councillor Manning, did you have anything for today?
I have nothing today.
Good. Deputy Mayor Kallenberg.
Nothing today.
Councillor Morris.
I have nothing today, thanks.
Councillor Westgate.
And the only thing I have is the lights on the signs coming in. The one, they're both working on them now? Okay.
They're on my way in.
On this one on the south side was not working too. Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you. Actually, that's probably been pointed out to just about every one of us that the sign seems to flash off and on more than it works. So that's good that they're dealing with it today. I have one thing, and it's this weekend, this Saturday, December 2nd, is the Santa Claus Parade. Just want to reference that and make everybody aware of that if they didn't know that already. It starts at 10 o'clock sharp. So I hope everybody gets out and enjoys the parade. Oh, one more thing. I almost forgot this the other night at the Fireman's Banquet as well. I'd like to, on behalf of the municipality, congratulate the Warwick Fire Service, the Watford Station, and the Warwick Station for winning the Hayter Memorial Championship in hockey the other day. Congratulations. I think that's 3 out of 6 years, I believe. That's what the deputy chief had pointed out to me the other night. So congratulations. And next year, we'll have to make sure there's a bet between myself and the mayor from the south on this particular game. So congratulations.
Thank you, Mayor Case. Just wanted to update council and make sure you are aware that there is a grant application, the Community Emergency Preparedness Grant that is available to the municipality, and the deadline is coming up as I believe December 1st. So the township has been working with our program committee and our chiefs to identify some grant opportunities. The grants can support up to a maximum of $50,000 in funding to support emergency planning expenses. We will be submitting an application for a variety of support projects bundled as one capital application, including the repair and or replacement of the generator at the Warwick Community Center, which we just received notice was having some malfunctioning issues. So timely for the grant, and also we'll be looking at relocating the Emergency Operations Center radio that is currently at our previous office on Nauvoo Road to this location as well, and then also supporting some various equipment purchases, things like chainsaws, that kind of thing to support emergency preparedness.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Amanda. Did anybody have any questions for Amanda on that particular application? Seeing none, we'll take that as information. Thank you, Amanda. Let's go to 6B if we can. This is a verbal update from Warwick Station Chief Brad Goodhill. Proposed changes to the Lambton Shores fire area for Townsend line coverage. Chief Goodhill, please.
Thank you, Mayor. As council is aware, we've had a automatic aid agreement in the Arkona area for several years. It was renegotiated and redone effective the beginning of last year. There was an area along Townsend line from Ellerton Road through to Bethel that that area remained being serviced out of the Warwick station. And we've decided that it's best interest that we include the 13, actually there's 14 properties along that stretch of Townsend line into the automatic aid agreement with Lambton Shores as well. So part of it will be serviced from the Forest Station and part of it will be serviced from the Arkona Station. And it will fall under the same guidelines as what the current automatic aid agreement is, where it's their station will respond and the Warwick station will respond as secondary to all calls, structure fires and so on, car accidents, with the exception of medical assist calls. So it's just an added level of protection in the event of road conditions, et cetera, manpower, if at such time there was ever that we were a little bit low. So it should be a good thing.
Okay, well, thank you, Chief Goodell. Did anybody have any questions? Yes, Councilor Morris.
Yeah, Brad, Watford and Warwick, they both respond to some fires. Do we have the same situation with Forest and Arkona? Would they both be responding to Ellerton Road, for an example? And during the off hours or the 8 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock at night?
It wasn't that way with the Forest Station. It was with the Arkona Station because it was under that area. It will be now in that Townsend line area. So, yeah.
All right, thank you. Anybody else have any questions? I guess it's a work in progress to a certain point. You're going to bring something back, Chief. Am I correct?
Yes, the CAO has sent a message to the CAO Lambton Shores, and I've notified the new chief in Lambton Shores as well of the properties that are affected to be included. And we'll get the once it's all approved, we'll change the maps in the dispatch center, and all calls become automatic at that point forward.
All right, well, thank you very much. And if there's no other questions, we'll move on. Any other questions on this particular piece of business? Seeing none. Thank you, Chief. Okay, we have no delegations. We're going to go right to staff reports. We're going to go to 8A, and this is Chief Sitlington and Chief Goodhill, a presentation of proposed standard operating guidelines for dual fire station response. So I'm not sure who wants to do who's starting with this presentation. I'll turn it over to the chiefs to decide, and we'll go from there. The floor is yours, gentlemen.
Okay, so this is the SOGs for the two station response. We clarified it and tidied it up a little bit. We found that for such things as certain things as an individual car fire or an individual car accident, single vehicle MVC example, there typically wasn't necessity for running both stations at once for all the time on those things. As soon as it become a possible structure fire, smoke showing, any calls where we had high volumes of people, such as the nursing homes, the schools, the retirement homes, that type of thing, and then also multi-vehicle accidents where we're going to have more patients to deal with, then we're running full two-station response. But Rick, myself, and the two deputies met together and we put that SOG together, and that's what will be going forward when the switch over from Wallsburg Dispatch to Sarnia Police Services happens, which is scheduled for December 14th.
All right, thank you very much, Chief. Do we have any questions from council? There's a recommendation for council's consideration. How does council wish to deal with our recommendation? Councilor Morris? Moved by Councilor Morris. Do we have a seconder? Councilor Manning is seconding that. Further discussion, if any? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. Thank you, chiefs. We're going to go to 8B, and this is a report. It's an FYI from Trevor Jarrett, but with some information attached. Trevor, well, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. As you said, it's an FYI. for every department asset and item in here, we run a 20-year rolling capital budget, and this is a presentation of what we do with fire department. And essentially for the next 20 years, you're looking both stations, vehicle replacement schedules, SCBA, tanks, helmets, bunker gear, everything, and how it's projected to be. Every year, I will meet with the chiefs probably around end of August, beginning of September, where we true it up. And that's what we go forward with for the next year's budget. The one thing that is kind of funny, I find, is for 2025, we have the generator replacement for Warwick Hall, and it just happened to give it a year early. But this is a framework we do, and just thought it'd be timely to circulate this time.
All right, well, thank you, Trevor. Does anybody have any questions on that information that Trevor has provided to us? Councilor Morris?
Trevor, about how much do we have in the fire reserve now?
Sitting at 190,000 right now.
Any other questions? Deputy Mayor?
That 800,000 for new vehicles, is that a realistic number or is price jumped over and above that?
2 years ago, that number is 340. The chiefs have gone out, they've gotten tight pricing in today's market. 800 would be tight, and we will see when you go to tender.
Anyone else? It's Chief Sidling, did you have a comment? Go ahead.
Just in regards to capital, we're both looking for a new rescue. I understand it's been put off for now. The one thing you have to remember is that these trucks are 1999 and a 2000. Brad's having problems with his. I'm having problems with mine, getting parts for it. The last thing this township municipality would want is for us to be responding to an emergency call and have the truck not make it there. So I realize we've been put off for this year, but and also in 2009, which is not that far down the road, I'm gonna be looking at replacing a pumper, which is probably about the same price. You're looking at 800 to 1.2 million. So it's just something to keep in mind.
So Chief Sidling, we are aware of that. We also are aware of the fact that certain vehicles are mandated to be replaced. Those two vehicles, as important as they are, and I understand what you're saying, those are not mandated like your pumpers and other vehicles are. And we haven't even looked at the budget yet, just for the record. We haven't seen anything yet from the Treasury. So whether they've been put off or not, we have no idea because we haven't seen it yet. We'll be looking at that on December 7th, but they have really increased in price, but point well taken. So thank you very much for that. Anybody else have any questions on the numbers that the treasurer has put? Councilor Morris?
Just a quick one for the chiefs. About how much would you get for the rescue truck if you traded it in or sold it?
I'm not sure. I doubt if you would get that much. It depends on who's buying it and what they're buying it for. If somebody was buying it for to turn into a utility vehicle or something like that, then
Just as a reference, Wayne, I think Lambton Shores, they were quite fortunate and sold theirs out of the forest station about 4 years ago, and I think they got around 70,000 for it. And that was quite well sold at that point in time.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions on the report that Trevor put before us, the numbers he put before us? Seeing none? Okay, I am going to ask for a motion to receive and file the information that we received from the treasurer. Deputy Mayor Kallenberg is moving it, seconded by Councilor Westgate. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. Okay, let's go to 8C. There's a lot here in 8C. And there's a recommendation attached to it too. Maybe Amanda, could I get you to speak to 8C if you don't mind, please?
Okay, thank you, Mayor Case. So in front of council, you will see a proposed report on some updated policies for the Township of Warwick Fire and Rescue Department, specifically related to recruitment and member transition. I do want to just point out and thank the chiefs. They've both provided input and assisted with the development of these policies, especially as it relates to recruitment and the recruitment package that's provided. And what you don't see included in the report on the recruitment side is also we've created some templates for offer letters, like those advertisements, those kinds of things moving forward. So just a refresh of the recruitment process and standardizing the process and the information shared with new recruits from each station. So a great step. Also, you'll find attached the member transition policy within the department. And this policy is proposed to see members throughout their hopeful long volunteer relationships with the township transition within the department. I do want to highlight that while this policy is being forward today, there's no changes required to either station tomorrow. Like if this is approved to implement this policy, both stations are operating in compliance with it and with its principles. And we thank, everyone in both stations for working through those applicable processes. But I just wanted to highlight no changes would be made to current operations as a result of approving this, just setting forth perimeters for future and continued operations in both stations. Thanks.
Thank you, Amanda. Does anybody else have any questions on this report? So basically, everybody within our service complies within what we've got here now. So it'd be really new hires that this would really would be part of the new process moving forward. Am I correct?
Yes, so this policy will apply, both policies will apply to everyone in the department, obviously the recruitment to new recruits primarily, and member transition to current members and future members. But the way the stations are operated now through the chiefs are compliant with the policy. So no changes would occur as a result of approval.
So from the standpoint right now, just so we're clear, with the current manpower we have, everybody's working within those processes right now. So there would be no changes as far as that goes. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, anybody else have any questions? So there is a recommendation. 8C, how does council wish to deal with the recommendation? The recommendation is that Warwick Township Council approves policies for the Township of Warwick Fire and Rescue Department on recruitment and member transition as part of report Fire 0423. And that is the report, and that the policies be added to the Township of Warwick Corporate Policy Manual and shared with all members of the Township of Warwick Fire and Rescue Departments for information. How does council wish to deal with that recommendation? Councilor Morris, are you moving it? Seconded by Councilor Westgate. Any further discussion? All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. Okay, let's go to 8D if we could then, council, please. And that's a status update on Fire Master Plan implementation. Did you want to speak to this, Amanda? Or is that, maybe I'll get you to speak to it if you don't mind.
Sure. Thank you, Mayor Case. So this report is provided to council just as information based on our current Fire Master Plan, which was approved. Oh, the date escapes me now, 2017, is that correct? Thank you. So it is attached to the report for your information. With the chiefs, we've been working on implementing a lot of the recommendations in the report for a number of years, and we've seen a lot of change, primarily on the administrative side. I'd say reporting, payroll processes. We've seen some enhanced partnership on training between stations. And so it's all been, I think, positive progress. There are some actions remaining in the report related to, I'll say, department structure, as well as some additional administrative recommendations. And they've been carried for some time for a number of reasons. And I wanted to bring you a report so you were familiar with the fire master plan report because we didn't train on it during council orientation. Also, so you could receive an update on the report. And what I think we're looking for, if council was comfortable to provide it today or in future, would be some direction on moving forward with the fire master plan or not. We've had this plan on file since 2017, and some of its recommendations remain controversial, a bit challenging for us in terms of our operations. And we carry it year over year on kind of our priority list. And every year, the chiefs and I talk about it and we say, oh, well, maybe council will. So firstly, it's provided for your information. And then if any councillors had any thoughts on direction, some examples might be to receive and file the report just for your future. So not to pursue any additional actions at this time. Request, a more detailed summary of actions if you wanted me to come back and do a presentation in consultation with the chiefs to give you some more information or any other direction you wish to see. But I think that's my intro summary for you. Thank you.
No, I appreciate that, Amanda. This has been going on for 5 years now, maybe 6. And I took a 4-year break and we were working on it then and we're still here. I guess maybe if I can, does anybody on council have any questions on this? Councilor Morris?
Well, one comment that we keep stumbling on, and I think if I got this right, man, it's section 972. Both the full-time chiefs, I just like it removed from the fire master plan. That's my opinion.
Councilor Westgate?
The previous council, we kind of decided against the full-time chief, the last council. I don't know whether it needs to be removed completely, but I don't think we need to look at it right now unless this council feels a lot different than the previous council. And I'd like to hear from firemen, their chiefs and deputy on it too. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Westgate. Anybody else on the council side of things? Yeah, I'll turn it over to the chiefs. Want to speak to this? I'm not trying to put you guys on the hot seat by any means. I know they've been working on this for a long time. So Chief Sidlington, do you want to start us off?
As far as the master fire plan goes, we've implemented a lot of changes through it. But as far as I'm concerned, we've gone about as far as we need to go on it. So I would like to see it closed or let's move on. That's my opinion.
Thank you, Chief. Chief Goodell.
So in the report, you did see there with the master fires explaining all the requirements that we were actually wanting to do. A lot of them have been completed and we just honestly haven't met lately to update this screen. And I've been busy, everybody's busy, it's no big deal, but most of the fire prevention section of that has been completed. The community risk assessment, which is probably the most important part of today's world, it's been done and it's in a position that it can be reviewed in another 2 years and move forward that way. So there are a couple little things in there that we could still work away at, but the majority of them I don't see as anything substantially serious that needs to be required to be changed. So I have no problem leaving the master fire plan there, and if we can pick off a few here and there that may not be right up to speed, then it still does not affect us a lot in our workload. It will make things a little bit smoother at some point in time with a few of the things, but like I said, there has been more that's updated that has been completed and implemented. So I'm along with Rick, not a lot more to be done, but we can still keep pecking away.
All right, thank you, Chief Goodell. Anybody else on council? Deputy chiefs, anybody want a part of this one? Seeing none? Yes, Councilor Manning.
I'd just like to say, if we're gonna, excuse me, sorry, if we're gonna move forward with a decision, I'd like to have a updated list of the incomplete actions and just kind of have a quick review of those before making a decision whether we go through with Chief Sitlington's either completed or with the suggestion of Chief Goodhill. But I'd definitely like to see an up-to-date and just see what is left doing, and I assume that you guys are correct that it's probably minimal, but I'd just like to see that for sure before I made a decision on that.
Oh, no, fair enough. So I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to deal with this in two different ways. I'm going to ask for a motion to receive and file the report if council sees fit. So I'm looking for a mover. Deputy Mayor Kallenberg is moving that, seconded by Councillor Westgate. All in favor of that? So then we could actually ask for, if you're willing to, Councillor Manning, you could put forward a motion to have a report come back to council with that outstanding information, or that, I guess, bringing us up to speed. So if you want to make that motion, that's fine. Did you catch what Councillor Manning said? So that would be the motion, unless you want to add or subtract anything to that, sir. Do we have a seconder to Councillor Manning's motion? Okay, Councillor Morris is seconding that. Any further discussion on that motion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? That's carried. So to be clear, what that is just to bring it back. The report isn't quite up to date here. They'll bring it up to date. We'll see exactly where we are, and we'll go from there. So first off, I'd like to thank the chiefs, the deputy chiefs, all of our firefighters for all their work on this. It's been a long road. I could probably add a couple more longs in there. So thank you for the cooperation and working through this, and we'll bring it back. We'll take a look. We'll get an up-to-date status list, as Councillor Manning's motion has asked for, and then we can deal with it at that particular time. So we didn't put a timeline on that, Madam Clerk, but we'll just wait for you to bring it back, and we'll go from there. So thank you very much. So we'll leave that particular piece of business, and we'll go to new business. Number 9, new business is something a little bit outside the ordinary for this meeting, but it's timely at that. We do have an opportunity to award a tender for the Duncan and Brown Jarriet drain. You have the report in front of you. There's a recommendation that the tender of the Duncan and Brown Jarriet Drain Maintenance Project be awarded to JLH Excavating, Inc. for the cost of $29,177.30 plus HST. Council has the complete report in front of them. How does council wish to deal with this recommendation? Moved by the Deputy Mayor and seconded by Councillor Manning. Any further discussion? All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. All right. So that ends the open portion of our meeting today. And I thank our chiefs and our deputy chiefs for coming today. We really do appreciate it, and all the hard work that you put into this report, but everything you do for us all year round, as well as the firefighters. So thank you very much, gentlemen. We appreciate you coming. I'm going to ask for a motion to move into a camera meeting of council pursuant to section 239 of the Municipal Act 2001 as amended for the following reasons: a matter regarding personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees, section 2392B. So I'm asking for that motion to go in camera. And I'm getting it from Councillor Morris and is seconded by Deputy Mayor Kallenberg. All in favor? That's carried. Perfect. All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.